Hi folks, welcome once again to Taste at Missoula. I'm Bob Zimmerino and my co-host is...
I'm Emily Seitz.
From the Good Food Store here in Missoula, Montana. We are going to do a southwestern beef dish today. We're working a series of rice dishes. Today we're going to use our brown rice, which came up nice and fluffy after letting it cook, and it did take closer to 50 minutes than the 35 or 40 that I originally projected. We're going to start right over here though with some beef, and if Emily's going to season this pan with a little bit of olive oil and get the pan good and hot for me. This beef we're going to cut, it's actually a petite sirloin, and you really want to cut it into small strips, and you want to cut across the grain of the beef. And so when you cut into it and you look, this is kind of cutting across the grain, and when you cut across the grain of the beef, I'm going to angle cut it right across the grain just like that. It'll actually, if you cut with the grain, it'll make it long, stringy pieces. If you cut across the grain, it makes it a little bit more tender and easier to eat. When you get the pieces and they're longer like this, you just cut them in half and you're set to go.
And the beef that we're using today is from Mannix Ranch. It's up in Helmsville, Montana, and we can't have a show from Missoula, Montana and not talk about beef. And this is a great choice of beef because it's a grass finished. And there's lots of different talks about grass-finished, grass-fed, and we try to do a really good job here selecting only high-quality beef. And what do you think about this quality, Bob?
Well, I think that this is actually beautiful. It's well marbled. You can see the marbling in there. The fat is going to give you some of the flavor that you're asking for, but it's actually really not too fatty. It's perfect. It's a nice sirloin cut. So as we're getting ready to do this dish, I'm going to add a little bit of salt to that oil. And I want to make sure that my oil is good and hot. And I use olive oil, which again has a lower smoke point. But once you get it nice and hot, you add your beef into it.
And again, just like the chicken, Bob doesn't want to add all of the beef all at once. Because it's going to what, Bob?
Well, what ends up happening is it'll reduce the temperature of the oil to a point where it's not hot enough to achieve what you're trying to achieve with it, which is to cook, to sear the beef. I want to sear that flavor inside that beef. And by the way, one of the biggest mistakes cooks make when they're doing stir fries of any kind with beef is they oftentimes leave the beef in the whole time. The end result is that it's really tough and stringy.
Exactly.
So you don't want to leave it in very long. You just want to get it to the point where it cooks a little bit and you get that nice beef flavor in your oil.
Just like we talked about with the chicken last time, that beef is actually seasoning the pan.
Thank you. And let's talk about the veggies, Em. Go ahead.
So as you can see, we've got a variety, again, nice color arrangement, a little red and green, because, Bob, what is this dish that we're doing?
Well, we're doing basically a southwestern beef dish. It's a tomato-based southwestern beef dish. It has some black beans in it for the extra fiber that I love so much in my dishes. Actually, I'm going to keep it right there because I'm going to go right here with some poblano. You can use poblano or pasilla pepper. It's not a hot pepper.
As we talked about before, right?
Yep, and this is some more of that red pepper that we had, the sweet red. And part of the reason right here that I'm adding 3 ingredients right off the bat is because they all have a similar texture. They're all harder vegetables, onion, pepper, and pepper. And they're all a little bit firmer vegetables, and they're all cut to approximately the same size.
The other thing that these vegetables have is a lot of water. So as you are sauteing and releasing them, they're going to be softening and releasing water and juices for that flavor.
That's correct.
What's next, Bob?
Well, we have these beans, and we're going to roll those in there. These are already a cooked bean. They're cooked off. You can soak them overnight, cook them off, but you have to have them cooked when they go in the dish. I am ready. Go ahead and add them. Beautiful. Look at how good that looks.
That looks great.
Right there.
Looks nice.
So these veggies are just about beautiful right now. And before I add anything else, I'm going to add the garlic, but I want you to talk a little bit about the cheese that we're using today. It's a special Mexican cheese called cotija.
So cotija cheese, as it comes, it's a really firm, it's almost kind of like a dry cheese. And it's a great finishing cheese. And what I mean by that is really nice. It doesn't melt very easily. It's similar to feta in texture and flavor. It's from, as you could tell from the name, it's from Mexico.
From Cotija, Mexico.
From Cotija, Mexico.
Next up, we're going to add the tomatoes to this, but I'm going to put some seasoning in it first. Now, I've added some garlic to it. The garlic is browning nicely.
Smells
I'm
good.
putting some chili powder in there. Remember, there is cumin in chili powder, so don't go too heavy on your cumin, but just a little pinch of cumin over the top of the chili powder adds that little bit of extra flavor, and a little bit of Mexican oregano. And the Mexican oregano, by the way,
It's different than Italian oregano.
Italian or Greek,
oregano.
it's actually a little more bitter.
Yeah, or you could think of it like this, that Italian oregano is a little bit sweeter.
Okay, so now we're going to add that sauce, that tomato, and this is just a concentrated crushed tomato, or not even concentrated, just a crushed tomato. And I'm going to add a little bit of water. Put the two together and you have yourself a beautiful tomato sauce. Now I had them bring on some tomato paste in the event that we need it.
What do you think, Bob?
I gotta take a look. It's pretty good. It might be thick enough without it. The tomatoes were of a great texture.
This is a great product to use. So often you use tomato paste, you get it in a can, and then most recipes call for a tablespoon, 2 tablespoons.
Yeah, it really doesn't take much, does
it? And then
it?
you have these little cans in your fridge just taking up space. It's in a tube, the tomato paste.
And it sits in your fridge nicely.
Well, yeah, it still sits in your fridge, but...
Well, but you can use it a little bit at a time as you use it. So I've added some pepper to that. I'm going to sprinkle some salt over the top.
Don't leave it in your bathroom though, Bob.
I won't. I brush my teeth with it and I go to bed with really terrible looking teeth. So now I'm going to add some of the Cotija cheese. And how simple is this dish? Because we're about done right here.
Wow. Do you want me to just give it a good stir?
Give it a good stir around.
And the cotija cheese, it'll melt a little bit, but the nice thing about it, it really has a great texture.
So now we have our brown rice, and we're going to take and ladle some stuff right out over the top.
Do you want to taste it, Bob?
You know, I will taste it after we put it on the plate, and let's take a look there because I want to show the finish of the dish first. And I actually believe, oh no, put some on there. Come on, baby. You never ate at my house, did you? I had 4 boys in my family. You either give it some of the red and some of the good juicy goodness. There you go. That's perfect. Now top it with a little bit more cotija.
Oh my God.
And a little bit of cilantro.
This is like food for 3 days.
No, that's food for 15 minutes. I'm Bob Zimmerino, my partner here.
Emily Sykes from the Good Food Store.
We're with MakeItMissoula.com. We'll see you next time with another great dish.